Oh man, like you had me basically fucking in tears earlier this afternoon.
Oh, really? What did I do?
Oh mate, fucking Adam, just the tear jerker over here, or
Tearjerker.
the jerk tearer.
Oh. It's supposed to work on women, mate, not you.
I know. Hey, look, fucking everybody goes through
Hey,
shit, all right?
mate. All right, that's it, man. That's it.
Everybody
Yeah, well,
goes
at the
through
end of the
shit.
day, that's what it's all for, isn't it? To find people that want to relate to it or can
It,
relate to it.
it's amazing to me, and I think that there's something about just art in general, that the entire concept of it is that,
Yeah,
and this is one of the reasons why I hated art in high school, is
yeah,
because it
man.
was like, what does it mean? It's like doesn't need to mean
Yeah,
anything to you. Like, and what it's going to mean to me isn't the same thing as what
yeah,
it's going to mean to you. So, like, there's no
exactly, man.
point. There's no point in me describing what it means to me, because
Yeah,
what I'm after is to evoke an emotion, or to like get to take some kind of response from you where you can pick up on like the some kind of universal truth that might be in that
mm,
artwork.
yep,
And yeah,
yeah.
definitely, I found that in the quarterback, man. That fucking
Everyone portrays it differently, man. It's like an opinion, so you can't. No, everyone's not going to have the same opinion. So yeah, man. It just however everyone relates to it, that's how they take it. Whether they hate it, whether they love it, at the end of the day, it's an expression for me that I'm meant to be doing. So I don't
yeah,
really care. So,
yeah,
but
and that's
obviously, if it relates to someone on a higher level, then it's well worth the time and effort that you put into it. That's for
and
sure.
and I think that that's like it's one of the things that's kind of confusing, to me, about a lot of people that, whether it's music or art or
Yeah,
whatever, but they just like don't seem to, like, I don't know, whatever, like they don't pick up on the
yeah.
the thing that's behind it. And
That's what annoys me with rap. Sorry, to cut you off there, but
no, no, go.
people that like, oh yeah, oh, so what do you listen to? Like they ask you that question. I'm like, oh, I listen to a lot of rap and like underground battling and all that. They're going, oh, what do you listen to that crap for? And it really annoys me because like it's so over their head that
Yeah,
they have to call it crap because they don't understand it. They're
yes,
missing all the wordplay, the metaphors,
yeah.
the word switching, the rhyming. Like they're not taking the time to sit down, which is fair. Okay, everyone's got a busy life, I understand, but don't call it crap without
Yeah, don't dismiss it
actually,
though.
yeah, dismiss it without actually giving it a go. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
and
it's
then when
it's
they say, "Oh, like, oh, I hate Eminem, he's a piece of shit," like, do you even hear him? You know, it annoys
because
the
most
crap
of the
out of me.
time the answer is no.
Yeah,
Like most of
yeah,
the
man.
time, genuinely the answer is no. And one of the hard things, and this is what I was like, I was texting you earlier, just
Yeah.
so I was trying to take notes, man. And so I'm going through, yeah, I know, right? You know, laugh at me all you
Mm.
want. But I'm
I
sitting
don't
there.
laugh, man. Look at this.
Yeah, there we go. I'm sitting there and I'm going through that quarterback, because like out of all the ones that you had there, that struck me straight away the most. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna take notes on just this.
Yep. Yep.
Um and it fucking was like I got like two lines in or something, dude. And I was like, oh fuck me. I can't even do this. Like I have to stop right now, or else I'm gonna do my fucking head in. Like I can't, the level of intricacy and wordplay and like meaning that could be derived from like one sentence, or like a couple of words
Yeah,
even,
man. Yep.
is just incredible. And there's something about that to me that, um that there's like this, and this is kind of one of the questions that I wanted to like talk to you about, is it there's something about art, and just art in general, right? Whether it's
Yep.
lyrics, the rap stuff, whether it's like physical fucking, drawings, tattoo, like
Mm.
any of this kind of stuff. There's something about it that is, it's like grasping.
Yep. Yep.
It's trying to get a hold of something that is the lived human experience, but it's
Yeah,
not
man.
just it's not just a lived human experience, it's the greater sum of all human
Yep.
experience, something like that, right?
Yep.
And so when when you're when you're going through your process, and this is again something I want to get into a little bit more.
Yeah,
but
man.
we can do that later.
Yep.
But do you have an idea when you're like, because it seems fucking really deep to me, you know what I mean? Or is it just something
Yeah.
that's like off the top of your fucking mind, and you don't think about it that much, and you look back on it and go, oh fuck.
Very rarely is my stuff like not deep. Like a lot of thought goes into it before I actually even put pen to page.
Yeah.
So it's that whole quarterback thing. Like I wanted to, like, the quarterback's a metaphor.
Yeah,
it was completely.
That's an amazing metaphor.
Yeah. So like at
like
the
they got
time,
you back.
like
they're the ones that are going to be doing the
Yeah,
fucking
man.
running. But are they? Like, yeah.
The thing is, like, I scrapped so many lines for that too. I had a lot of stuff I wanted to put in there, but I didn't. But I don't know, because I didn't want to make it too obvious. The whole point was for people to listen and pick apart.
Yeah.
To draw listeners in. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And man, I'm just trying to think how it goes now. Like the whole like the football is the heart.
Yeah. Dude,
So,
I mean,
like,
I've written down most of it because I literally, like, this is what I'm saying, dude. I was like, here, I'm going to write down the meaningful parts to me, and ended up just writing out most of the entire fucking thing, you know?
You should have just asked me to send you the fucking lyrics.
Well, it probably would have been easier.
Yeah.
Like, to be fucking perfectly honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I was just so impressed about it. Like, even like the very first lyric of
man,
like from the coin toss.
Yeah, man.
Like, just that in itself, it's like, look, and okay, I'm just gonna give my interpretation. I'm not gonna. I don't want to.
Yeah, man, go for it. That's what it's there for. It's open for interpretation. Yeah.
I don't want to speak for you, but like,
no, man, go for it. I love hearing people's like different sides and how it relates to them. Yeah, go for
it. So for me, anyway, that was like because
not only like hearing your opinion about it will make me go, oh fuck, I never thought of it like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, hit me. Go on. So
just the lyric from the coin toss, like at the very, very start, there's like this high impact of like, so I understood this after having listened to it, and then listening back to it, I was like, oh fuck, that's so much deeper than I had initially thought, because it's it's this entire question of like, it could be either way.
Yeah, man.
Like I'm trying to be this, but like, is this the right thing to be? Like, it's a 50-50 thing. And that was that whole concept of the coin toss. So right from the start, you just fucking nailed it, you know? I thought
so the whole coin toss concept, obviously metaphor for football. Like, they toss a coin at the start of the game to see who kicks off, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But the whole, it's actually, that piece is actually to my current partner, Shawnee. It was like when her and I were going back and forth with like seeing each other, and the whole coin toss was, what character am I supposed to be? Like, I've got to flip a coin on this.
Yes.
And like, and to find out what sort of person she likes. So it was
and also
deciding
what kind of person that you actually are as well. Like, there's something about it that is like, it's not just about like who to be. It's about who are you.
Yep.
And there's something like much deeper there of the question of like, who are you? Yeah. I thought that was,
man.
The whole fucking piece is fucking amazing, dude. Like, honestly, it really blew my mind. Hey, so I'm gonna ask you a question, and you can totally just like say no if like if that's but it would be amazing if you could just, if it's okay with you, to just go through the quarterback, and like, I would love to have you do that, just so that everybody's listening kind of gets a picture of what it is. And I'm not even saying like it doesn't need to be anything theatrical or anything like that. You can just fucking read it verbatim. I'm more than happy with that. You know, like whatever you feel comfortable with.
I'm happy to read it, man. If that's what you want me to do.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Like, really, I haven't read it for ages, man. Like, when I posted it again for you to see, I was like, fuck, I really did this. Like, and you backtrack down. I don't
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
doing that action. Was I wearing that? Like all these things were going in.
Well, I
I'm like,
actually think
where
that was
am
I
I?
actually think your fucking clothes style was on point in that one out of all of
Oh,
them.
mate, stop it.
Yeah.
It was cold, all right. I was in the mountains. I know that. So, yeah. So, yeah, buddy. If you want to throw some lines at me, we can talk about certain lines that you want to pick apart, and then I can read
I
it
think the
when we're
best way to
finished
do it
talking
would
about
just
it.
be like if we could just go through it, like you just
Yeah,
do the
man.
whole thing, and then will like I think the best thing then is just like go through a few of the lines that I picked out that I really connected with, and then
Yep.
we can kind of move on from there. Yeah.
Yeah, man. We can do that. Oh, do you want me to read through it like slowly, or do you just want me to read it like normal? Like, however, doesn't matter.
However you feel the most comfortable. Like it could be as fast as slow, like whatever you want
Yeah.
to do. Yeah.
Yeah, man. All right. So yeah, quarterback from the coin toss. I'm blocked. You're stopped by my guards. I have a wall up. I got the ball tucked under my arm, shaped like a heart. They shield the pain on the playing field of love's shoulder charge in case I get hit or fall too hard. My guards are the part of me my ex has made less expressive and the best defensive players in the league. It's highly unlikely much of anyone breaks down the barricades found in front of me to touch me when they've stormed to attack my quarterback. I'm the MVP, but beneath the armory and the baddest team called is the biggest baby of them all, who stalls emotions from getting the better of him. Because I'm scared and not prepared to be hurt again. So I've treated him mean to keep him keen. And that seems to have worked a treat. And I've learned girls want that and respond better to me than they ever have in my life. Unlike my past, nice guys always finish last. And this heart couldn't last any longer at being an impersonator for the weak. I had to be a Terminator and stand my ground and let their bullets bounce off of me. But underneath is a sheep in wolf's clothing. I should change what I'm wearing and be the wolf in sheep's clothing and let somebody stay in the heart of my hotel and take a deposit for collateral in case they damage any goods in their visit. Would that be stupid? I could just for a minute to see what happens, but I can almost guarantee it'll be a waste and I'll have to face fighting a losing battle. Scrambling around the paddock, searching for gaping holes so I can escape whole because it's getting out of hand as nothing went according to plan like it was meant to at the start. So here I am with my heart in my palm, a mess and at a place with the distressed look on my face. All the commotion is going slow motion. My men all fall and my brick wall caves in and tumbled over, but I compose for a while longer until one thing goes wrong, then another and another. I can't breathe. I scream and everything's out of reach. I'm in over my head like quicksand. Is this my chance to remove the shackles and let you tackle me to the sand? Would it be a means to an end if I jump out of the frying pan and into the fire? It's what I always wonder when I'm a part of nothing. I think I could be a part of something and let her in. She's written in ink she wants me, but I'm still trying to figure out the picture she's painting because the space between us isn't as close as it should be. And only every now and again she tries to break through. So it's left me wondering what I'm supposed to do. Win or lose, I have made a decision to choose and go with and throw this heart far to you because I've still got an arm to make the distance way further than ever to find the direction my wide receiver runs in. Question is, will you be able to handle the pace I come with to get a touchdown? I won't turn around and wait to see what you do. You might have to chase me down the path of impatience. Am I moving too fast for the casualness? I'm not sure who likes it more. You've said before you do, and it's good for me too, but when we get the time to perform, I'd like us to try more than we usually do, and be heroes just for one day. I just want to be dazed in the glory of our story and be happy. Then we sadly have to go our separate ways until I see you again tomorrow. Aren't I pushing my luck? But let me tell you what I think you should do while I've opened up to you, You should go for it. You have to. Even though you've been shut down by my defense for as long as I've known you, it makes sense to. While I'm not as detained, it only takes one big play to get you back in the ball game to make your move. There you go.
Oh, brother, I got literal goosebumps. Like I don't know, like you can't fucking pick it up on the camera, but it speaks to me, man. It fucking
Gets
speaks.
you.
It gets me, man. There's something about like I love listening to all the other stuff, and it all gets me. There's
Yeah,
something
man.
about that, and it's I think it's because like it's something that I've been going through, that I am going through, like that similar, and it doesn't even necessarily mean that like it's the same thing for you.
Yeah,
It's just
man.
that there's this you've touched on like this fucking cosmic nerve.
I've
You know what I
tickled a
mean?
memory.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And you're loving it. You're getting
Oh,
the
dude,
goosies, mate.
it's fucking amazing, particularly like that last bit where it's like
Yeah.
where you're talking about like maybe not for me, but for you, like you like I can't remember the line, but like there's it's like uh not whatever it is, it's like whatever like this might be for me, but for you, I want you to
Yeah,
do
man.
this. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because like that's how I feel all the time. It's like, oh, I'm stuck in this weird place in
Yeah.
between where I like I'm kind of unsure on how to approach this.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Yeah. It was a very because obviously it was in the birth of a new relationship beginning, man. So and it
Yeah,
had been like it was the relationship before that, was hard. So it was very difficult to open back up again. So I was going through all that again because I didn't want to be, shut down and
yeah,
blown off again. I wasn't ready for that. So it was very, very hard, but I didn't want to make it obvious because I don't know. I'm a big believer in being, it's going to sound weird to you, but there's a lot of definition behind it. I'm a big believer in being a tough poet on
yeah,
page. So I don't like showing weakness. And if I do, it'll be through wordplay. So people have to pick it apart to exactly know what I mean. I like, oh, he's crying here.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Instead of actually saying, I'm crying.
yeah,
Like I've got to say, like, do a whole big like scheme or metaphoric sort of
yeah,
way of
yeah.
saying it so people actually look into it and going, shit, he's sad. You know?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot
Yeah,
of
shit like
pain.
that. So
There's a lot of pain in a lot of your stuff, man, and it's interesting to me because, like I was saying, like that like cosmic finger touching the nerve. You know, it's like
yeah,
we all
man.
have
Yep.
that inside us, and so
Yep.
the thing about whether it's art or music or poetry, and I don't even know if
Yeah.
you would consider what you do poetry. Like, what would
I
you?
don't know, man. People ask me that all the time, mate. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I,
you don't even have to define it, but like, but in terms of like, so I would have probably called it just spoken word.
yeah,
Uh,
that's what I generally try and call it. I'm a wordsmith. That's
yeah,
what they say. So
yeah, yeah,
I'm a wordsmith, spoken word. So
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, there's something about all of those genres that are like trying to pull something out of the universal human experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Like, yeah, and the whole a little secret behind the whole quarterback name was like, do you ever see that movie? Oh, The Replacements, Keanu Reeves.
No, I don't think so.
Oh yeah, that was when I was watching that like a few days prior of writing it, and it gave me the whole like in it. He's like a quarterback in it, and
Yeah,
gave me the whole concept, and I was like, oh, because like he struck like he's a retired player, and he gets asked to come back to like play in a replacement team
yeah,
to fill in for like the rich team that don't want to play anymore, and he gets pulled in, and he struggles with finding his feet again.
yeah, yeah,
But he was a great player, and like his last game, he like played at the Super Bowl, and people lost so much money on him because he lost the game because he made a bad decision, all this sort of shit.
yeah.
But like that was sort of the whole. So I just took that out of his struggle to find his feet with me trying to find my feet in a relationship.
Dude,
I sort of flipped it around, you know what I mean?
my
So,
what I took from it is like so completely different
yeah,
from like the way that you just like talked about that. So like you were talking about
yeah,
like a new relationship. In
yeah,
my mind, I'm talking about an old relationship.
yeah, man. And that could be, it can be taken that. Someone said that to me before. Like I get like old vibes from a relationship I used to have, and I was like, all right, yeah, I get that.
Yeah, no. So I've been with my wife now for whatever 8 years, 7 years.
Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, it's beautiful.
And yeah, well, like there's a reason why what you wrote
Shout
spoke
out.
to me.
This is yeah. We're recording here, Cameron.
yeah. No, but this is the thing, right? Is like there comes a point, I think in any relationship, where there is like this is in my mind anyway, my reading of your poem, piece, was it like this point of disconnect?
Yep.
Because like you're just two people, right? Like everybody's just fucking two people, and to like the challenge of any relationship, I suppose, is to like overcome that disconnect all the time. Like that's an active thing that you have to be doing all the time.
Yeah.
And so for me, like after 2 kids, you know what I mean? You're like,
oh, I feel you, man.
getting up super early. Like
it's the routine, man.
Yeah, the routine, all that shit. And like, dude, it spoke to me so fucking intensely for that exact same reason, which is funny because yours was like a brand new relationship, is what you were saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that thing of like, look, I'm ready to commit.
Yeah.
Like, but are you ready for me to commit? Like,
and like, who am I supposed to be here for you? What type? Because I have so many different personalities, man. It's not funny. So, and I was trying to find that balance and who to be and what sort of person she would like. And I was like, who do I be here? So it was the whole, who do I pass the ball to? There's a metaphor for you.
Yeah. That's exactly it. Who do I pass the ball to? Like, and
who's going to give me?
Are you going to catch it?
Score?
Yeah, like because I'm fucking ready to pass. Are you going to catch that ball?
Yeah, that's it. That's it, man. Yeah. We're all over it like a rash.
Yeah, dude. Like I said, man, that really fucking deeply got to me. I was in the shower listening to that, and just like, holy fuck, bro! Like, yeah, really fucking, really, really intense, man.
That's why you got in the shower, so no one could see you cry, huh?
Yeah, exactly right. Man. I got those. No, it's just water. It's all just water.
Okay.
Yeah. So the other lines was
yeah, man, hit me. What do you
got? Under my arm, I got the ball tucked. Your block.
Yep.
Like one of the things I like, I suppose, like, you know, just a larger question from that is like, are these feelings that you're actively dealing with when you write?
Yeah, man. Yep.
Is that the process?
That comes in everything, man. Every time I write, there's always a journey. So you can take it in that way as well. So like I've thought about it that way as well. Like from the coin toss, like what concept can I do? I'm blocked already.
Yeah.
You know, my mind's got a wall up. You know, I'm ready to knock it down and try something new. So
yeah,
man, there's a journey in itself right there.
Yeah. So like you're like actively, like you have a thing that you're thinking about and you then try and work through it on paper.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Usually on paper, or like obviously the phone's always first at hand.
Yeah.
So I usually, if I'm really struggling to keep it, like, I don't know, inspiration hits at the worst times, always at work, which is not the best place to be, you know, always at work. And I wish I had like a recording microphone, like constantly on the side of my lip, so I could just spit words and just record straight away. But like, it's very rarely that I jot down on paper these days, but I don't know, man. It hits all different ways.
But is it usually when you're trying to figure something out
that the words don't come? Is that what you're saying?
No, that like that's when you're like most inspired to like are you going through the process of trying to figure something out, and that's what inspires you to actually like write?
Yeah, man, absolutely. I'll tell you a story. I used to put like how do you call it? Like when you're organizing something, you know, when someone puts it, like, say you're trying to organize, like an architect, like trying to build shapes and all, like build houses or something. I used to write all different words down on paper on like this big, like, you know, those big sheets of paper that people lie down and paint on.
Yeah.
Like the size of a twister mat, that game,
like,
Twister,
like
size of that.
paper or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I used to put like every word I could think of down that rhymed with the first word I thought of.
Really?
And it just, yeah, man. It used to be sickening, to be honest. I used to sit there like coin toss. Like, I'd just sit there and go, what rhymes with coin toss? But I never actually rhymed coin toss after that whole process of me. So I literally, like, my dad always told me, like, because my dad on the side, he's a bit of a songwriter.
Yeah.
So he's like, try and tell, like, and it's stuck with me. He's cursed me, the bastard. He's like, try and tell 1,000 words, like 1,000-word story in 2 lines.
Yes.
Like you know what I mean? Like try and tell a massive story in just 2 lines. Like try and make it interpretable for many ways for people to like sit there and pick at it.
Yeah.
Like, man, it's so hard to explain when
No, that's okay.
I'm not actually doing it. So yeah, it's because I don't know how other people like will understand it. But man, I'll sit on a line for hours.
So it's
writing a
interesting to
word.
me, like that process almost seems like, do you know, Rorschach paintings or like Rorschach blots? So it's like a
no, I don't. No.
So it's like a thing in psychology. I'm sure you've seen this
Okay.
in movies.
I probably have. Yeah.
Where they have like a ink blot on a page.
Yes.
And they show it to you, and they're like,
yeah,
what does this make you think of?
Yeah.
Like
that's a good way of putting it.
That process that you're talking about kind of reminds me a lot of that, because if you're like try and think of everything that rhymes, well, the only things that are going to come to your mind are the things that are relevant for you.
Yeah, that's exactly, man. That's the best way of putting it. But like, it's like a prompt, you know, I don't know, you like writing prompt, like when they give you like a picture to write about, they go, here you go, write about this. And if I'm not feeling like, if I don't relate to it, or I can't pick any experience from my life out of the picture, I can't write it.
Yeah. That's
so like I relate heavy to football because I've played football all my life. I've watched football all my life. And I've been through so many relationships, and I was able to intertwine the two, and you know, make a piece out of it. Yeah. So, but man, it was from memory. I don't think it took that long to write once I started writing it, but the whole process of it was like weeks of thinking how to do it, and what to say in it without making it too obvious. Because obviously, like at the start, I didn't even want to like show my partner Shortney that side of me at first.
Yeah.
Because like some of it is deep and there's some crazy stuff in there.
Oh, dude. I'm like,
because I was like, I didn't know how she would take me. Like, oh, actually, I don't like you anymore. You know what I mean? So that was another,
too real.
Fingernail thing. I was like biting my fingernails, going, "Oh, do I say this here and show her? Like, do I show her and all this sort of stuff?" And by the way, she's probably listening right now. She's
laughing at us.
So, what a wanker.
Yeah.
I don't like him anymore. Yeah, but yeah, man. That was the whole battle of fighting that as well. And like, there was actually another piece that I wrote after this that was to her again, on the same sort of lines, that had another big metaphor in it. It was called Treat Her Right, like after we started getting together.
Yeah, right.
But the title wasn't right as in R-I-G-H-T. It was right as in W-R-I-T-E.
Yeah.
And I treat, like, the whole concept is she's a library book.
Yeah.
And you know, when you get out a library book, you got to treat it with care and all this sort of stuff, and take it back untouched virtually and blah, 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 blah. So she was a library book in the piece, and I was going in and hiring the library book out.
No, man, that's beautiful.
So it's so that was when I started opening up a bit more. Like,
and where you felt a bit more comfortable.
Yeah, man. As you can imagine, some of the lines, like I wanted to open her up and all this.
Yeah. I like
I'm
the
just joking.
the one line in quarterback where like the gaping hole. I'm like, oh, I there's
Yeah,
no
man.
bit of entendre there. Like,
Ah! No, there was not. No, what are you
no, of course,
talking
no.
about? Yeah,
um.
yeah, but
So yeah,
no, man. My like, because at that time, my favorite, I think my whole favorite section is the beginning to that piece.
yeah,
That whole, from the coin toss, I'm blocked or stopped
yeah,
by my guards. So
yeah,
guards of like protectors of my heart,
yeah,
um, angry memories,
yeah.
ex
So under my
girlfriends,
arm, shield of pain.
opinions. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
No,
And so is it?
you were
Do you,
stopped by all of that. Yeah.
yeah. Is it something that you felt like you've like through writing, like through the process of writing that stuff, do you feel like it actually
Yep.
does like have an impact and
Oh man, on an
actually
impact on me or other
yeah,
people?
no, for you, man, like for
For
you
me.
to be able to get that shit down and understand it in a different way. Like in my mind, writing, so I've like written like my whole life up until I was like maybe 21, something like
Yep.
that. And then I just
Yep.
stopped.
Yep. Yep.
And it was only for me, you know?
Yep.
And that process of writing was something that was like purely therapeutic almost.
And I
Um,
relate heavy to that. Like
yeah,
it's relieving, it's freeing. Like I've been through a lot of shit, man. Like
yeah,
and like I used to see like psychiatrists, psychologists, and all that sort of stuff. And had me on medication for a little while and just wasn't agreeing with me, blah blah blah, and all sorts of stuff. And I'm big, like I loved sport, and it was always like messing with my performance in sport and all that sort of stuff. And I hated
yeah,
it. It sort of like made me outraged and all this sort of stuff. And like anyway, they dug deeper and they found out like what sort of helps you, like, be a bit calmer, blah blah blah. And I brought up the whole writing thing, and but at the same time, I also seen a lot of bad in the writing because I was like at first, obviously kids and all that weren't involved, but as it got deeper into like when I had kids and all that, I was ignoring my kids. I was ignoring work duties. It was getting me into trouble doing it because it was like a medication to me.
yeah,
So, and back in the day, if I didn't do it, I got real aggro.
yeah,
Like I'd missed my time on taking medication. You know what I mean?
yeah, right.
So, and like it just became like my survival kit. And as it come out, like say for a topic I wanted to talk about my anger, I wrote everything down until I had nothing else to say about it. Then I could move on from it.
Yeah,
So if I just said, "Oh, I'm angry and I need to get better," that wasn't enough. I had to write. If I was there for a year writing about one concept until it was all out,
yeah,
and I wasn't thinking about it afterwards, like, oh, I got nothing left to say about that, then I could move on.
yeah. So it's like
That was very,
having some kind of understanding, like
yeah, man.
actually getting to get it out and have some kind of understanding about it. So one of the
Yeah,
things that's
buddy.
like real interesting to me is like so I got a friend who I don't know, you might have met before, but he has this thing of like, oh no, like if you're feeling something, basically,
Yeah.
like this is his thing, right? Is like if you're feeling
Mm-hmm.
something, like say it, like
Yep.
you need to communicate that for you to be able to like move on with it.
Yeah, man.
And
Yep.
I kind of get that, right? But there's also an aspect to that, and this is where like for me the writing stuff
Yep.
was like there's a line there somewhere where it's like, yeah, it's good to get that stuff out, but
Mm.
also it can like drag you into it. So
Yeah,
like
man.
if you're the kind of like for my friend who's like, oh no, you got a problem, fucking like just
Yep.
talk
Sort it
about it,
out.
like voice your
Yeah.
fucking opinion, blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, but dude, like screaming into a void
Yeah.
only brings on screaming into a void. Like
Yeah.
you actually need to do something about, like, do something proactive,
Yeah.
like about what's happening in your life. Like just being angry at something isn't
screaming into a void is an echo. It's only going to come back at you.
Yes.
So,
yeah, exactly, man. Exactly.
You need to find a room that doesn't echo.
Yeah.
If you're picking up on what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I 100% am, dude. And particularly for this guy, I think that he's got quite a bit of like mental issues and stuff, and I fucking love him. I still to this day I love him, but it makes it really, really difficult because it's like, bro, like, you know, that it's good to voice this stuff, but you also need to move on from it.
Yeah.
So writing for me, I think, was something where it was like, you know, it's good to voice this stuff, but also you have to participate. And like that was like the reason why I brought this up is because kind of what you were saying about like it being this thing that was like it had to be an everyday thing.
Yeah. It was like a job I had to do without being paid for it. I had to do it, like you know. And if I didn't do it, like bad things happened. To me and to others. Like it was so bad, man, for a time.
What do you
and
think
then I got
was?
a grip of it. It was, well, like I said, I've been through so much, and at that time there wasn't so much like skill portrayed in it. It was more just getting it out. Like it just words. It still rhymed. I've always been a rhymer, but it was just getting it out. It was only for me, like you said before, like it's only for me. No one was seeing it. And it was basically just, I was punching a pad. There you go. I was punching a pad. Gloves were on. I was punching a pad. So, yeah, man. And if it, like, there was a lot of voices in my head and I was getting like all these, come on, you got to do it, or this is going to happen. And it was crazy back then. That was like from age like 15 to about 21.
Dude, this is a very similar thing for me, man. It's like that age. Holy fuck, man. Yeah, that's intense, dude. So I was the same. I was very similar, but with guitar as well.
Yeah,
like
man.
If I did not have my guitar with me and was able to play like basically non-stop to the point where like people would be directly talking to me and I couldn't even fucking hear them. I'm like, sorry, this is
I'm doing my thing.
Yeah, like this is happening.
Yeah, obviously, man, like through that time of 15, 21, there was so like accusations of like I spent some time in psych ward. Like they thought I had like schizophrenia, split personality, all this sort of stuff, and it just boiled down to like someone that I knew, like another writer, like said to me, "You're not crazy. You're just an artist. You like to." And so many. I've heard that statement so many times now, and I relate to it like so well now. That's like, I'm not crazy. I'm an artist. I just think different. That's all. So yeah, man. I've started trying to come up with like a piece which I've titled Australian. But the last A in Australian I've replaced with an E. So you catch it? So like Australian. Alien in space, Australian. Still
I think somebody might have beaten you to that, bro. There's a movie.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, there's a movie.
Is
called,
it?
Yeah. There's a movie called.
You're
Australian.
kidding?
Yeah.
Doomed. I'm doomed. That's so shit.
I ruined it for you. I should have just let you put it out, bro, because it was. I guarantee it would still be fucking amazing. Like, I fucking ruined it. Well, God damn it!
It's not necessarily like me stealing it, because I doubt it'll be about the same thing.
It's definitely not, dude. It's definitely not about the same thing. This film is all about this guy in, I think, like Western New South Wales, who his entire fucking life has basically been plagued by coming in contact with aliens. And
totally different.
Entirely different. Like, I don't think you have to worry about that. But
that's sick though. I thought, like, when I come up with that, I was like, oh my fucking god, how good is that?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that's what
just one little letter.
Yeah. I'm sure that's what he thought.
That's so
too.
Shit, motherfucker.
Man, I'm real keen.
Yeah. That's cool, man. Oh, good on him.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, they did it. Like, hold
on, when did he come up with that? I'm just joking. I'm putting bloody,
I don't know the dates. I'm sorry, dude.
Copyright, motherfucker.
So like
Yeah, buddy.
the topic of nice guys.
Nice guys. Yeah. Yeah, buddy.
Pretending to
That would
be pretending to be like something like,
let me find that line because
please.
I can have so much to say on that. Is that like
because
nice guys always finish that.
This is something that I have gone back and forth on over the years, and like I actually kind of have strong opinions on now.
Yeah, man.
Just because of like whatever history, it's like you get to see how it all turns out after a few years.
Yeah.
It might work when you're young, but yeah.
So like, yeah, that whole, because I'm scared and not prepared to be hurt again. So I've treated them mean to keep them keen. And that seems to have worked a treat. And I've learned girls want that and respond better to me than they ever have in my life. Unlike my past, nice guys always finish last. So yeah,
That's such a beautiful line. Like just the tone
that
of it
scheme,
or
boy, that scheme.
Yeah, that's fucking
that rhyme scheme. That was as you said, like past relationships. I've always been that that poetic guy.
Yep.
The nice guy, giving the woman compliments constantly, writing little love letters and all this sort of shit. Man, I did that through a lot of relationships, and 9 times out of 10, it come back and bit me in the ass.
Yeah.
And like, I think like, I can't remember what relationship it was, but like a few relationships ago, I was doing that and it all got thrown back at me. And like, I developed, like after, I remember having this conversation with myself, like, that's it. I'm not being a nice guy anymore. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm getting treaded on for being nice. So I was in that whole evil mindset of like, I'm going to give them a taste of their own medicine, you know? So I was being terrible, man. Like I was sleeping around, doing all that sort of stuff. It got bad for a little while.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. And that's where I developed that wall.
Yeah.
And I wasn't letting any girl over it.
Yeah.
Yet. Without me seeing how much they could handle first. You know what I mean? Like I was an asshole, man. It went on for a little while. I become a lot of people I loathed, put it that way. And that wasn't me. It wasn't me. So
the first thing that comes to
hard.
mind, the first thing that comes to mind with that is like when a Christian discovers, like just from my experience or whatever, my lived experience. But yeah, like when a Christian, so I was like raised in a pretty like religious household and everything. I got to a certain point where I like looked around me and was like, hold on a second here. Like, if I'm to believe everything they're saying, then they shouldn't be acting like this.
Exactly.
Like, if I'm to believe like the entire, like, you know, this whole thing, like if I'm to buy into this, like, then I'm sorry, but no, like you guys are not, this is not okay. And so then I went the opposite way. And I was like, you know what? Everything that you think is good is fucking evil. Everything that everything that you think say that I shouldn't do, I'm gonna fucking do. I'm gonna go out of my way to be the exact opposite of all of this stuff. Meanwhile, it wasn't that the fucking thing was wrong in the first place. It was that the people were bad. You know? And so it's like this immature reaction on my behalf of like, no, I believe in this more than you do. Therefore, I'm going to like blow the entire thing up. It's like, what? No, like you don't need to go that far, bro.
Stood back and gave him a different perspective. I like that. So it was that wall, buddy, that wall. And it wasn't coming down anytime soon. So I still think a part of me still has that wall up. And my missus knows that. She's like, why don't you treat me like the other girls? She does it all the time. Don't you, darling? She probably won't answer that. But yeah.
but I suppose like I suppose what I was kind of getting at is like part of it is just about being like who the fuck you are.
Yeah, man.
You know, and it's having the freedom to be open without naivety. Like you're accepting the fact that it could get destroyed at any second because of your openness. You could get made fun of. You could be looked down upon, but you know that that's going to happen, and you're still willing to do it.
Yep. It's that mask, buddy. I've portrayed so many masks. It's not funny. Like that comes into my writing as well. Like if I'm writing about a certain character, I've got to live and become that character before I actually write it.
Yeah.
So it's very weird. I have a weird personality, man. So,
what?
And then
really?
like I do it so often, man, that I can't tell if I'm acting or anything anymore. Like it's
right.
I'll be sitting there going, wait, am I in this for real, or am I acting for a piece here? It's confused my mind. My mind's like, what are you doing? Yeah, it's hard to comprehend for myself.
I get it
more than others. So yeah, it's like, for example, I don't know if you've seen that Johnny Depp movie, that Secret Window. Did you see that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote a piece about his character in that because I related very heavy to that. You know, I lounged around up in the mountains, didn't shower, you know, like just my breakfast, lunch, and dinner was writing.
Yeah.
Like that. I was hungry all the time, but it was just the paper. I didn't eat until I finished something, you know, and I was lounging on the ground. I was drinking at fucking 8 o'clock in the morning, all this sort of stuff. It was terrible, man. I became Mort Rainey, his character in that movie. And so it was a video I was going to put up for you, but I forgot about it. I ended up getting sidetracked with something else. But like I try and act it out, how he does it in the movie and all this sort of stuff, man. So it's,
That's hectic, bro.
Mort Rainey. Yeah, man. And I do that with, I've done it with a few other characters too. But that's it. But that quarterback,
you're just cutting out a little bit there, buddy.
I tried. I'm cutting out on him. What's going on here?
I think it's okay. Yeah.
We good?
Yeah, it's all good.
There we go. Yeah. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like I heavily relate to a lot of characters, and that's where a lot of my inspiration comes from. Like, even if it's an emotion or a word, I like try and become the emotion, word, character, whatever it is, to get the best interpretation of what it is. So,
that's so interesting to me. Like I kind of have the image in my head, and this is like seems like from this conversation, maybe like this is wrong, but that like this is a process of you like working through your like things that are happening in your life.
Yeah.
And what I'm getting from having like, you know, even just this brief bit of conversation with you is that it's more like you can just go into the character itself. So it's not necessarily like, does it always come from something that you're going through in your life? Is the inspiration?
I usually draw from past experiences or something that's just happened or something like that. But I portray characters better than I portray myself.
Yeah.
That way.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to act like me because I've forgotten how to act like me.
You don't know who the fuck that guy is.
So you know what I mean? Like, I look in the mirror and going, who am I today? You know, who am I going to be? You know, and that's why it's hard to find.
Wow, Adam, that is
that's
a very different way of looking at life than what I had. Like going into this, I'm going to be honest. Going into this, I was like, dude, like this stuff speaks to me like so fucking intensely of like struggles that I've had and whatever. Like I didn't think it was like something that was like a necessarily like a character or whatever. Like I literally thought it was like, you're like day to day where you're like, oh, I need to deal with this. Like I need to fucking get it out.
Yep.
But like,
it does fall from that. I do need to get it out, but it's just the way I am. That's what I've always struggled with. It's not like I've struggled with, like meeting people or anything like that. It's like, you know, when you meet your girlfriend's parents for the first time.
Yeah.
I hate putting on masks to new people. I hate that.
Oh, me too, bro.
I hate it, man. It infuriates me.
Yeah.
If I can't act like myself around you, I'm sorry, we're not meeting.
Yeah. And also, you're not a good person. You're not a good person.
Yeah.
If I can't be me,
that's right.
If I can't be me around you, that's on you.
Exactly.
That's your fault.
Man.
Right. Yeah.
Sounds like a you problem.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, man, it's very hard to choose who I've got to be day to day. So to this day, after getting out of the psych ward and all that, they didn't diagnose me with anything.
Yeah, right.
And like to this day, going back 10 years ago, I'm sitting there going, surely there's something wrong. You know what I mean? Like the way I look at life, the way I do things, and the way I write and how deep I get into things. What's that line
there's something
I said?
Going on there.
Yeah, I'm sitting there going, surely they've fucked something up down there. Yeah. What's that line I wrote? Like, mate, the fake is real and the real is fake.
Yeah.
I think that was the line I said, something like that. So like I live in a fictional world.
Yeah.
So it's yeah.
Like it's interesting in terms of the going to like psychs and stuff is like I know people, like I know a lot of my friends, well not a lot, but like there's like a good handful of my friends who spend time in psych wards and this kind of stuff, and a lot of them have been like undiagnosed, like what you're talking about.
Yeah, man.
But then on the other hand, a lot of my friends who haven't gone to psych wards have been diagnosed. But it's the kind of thing where I'm like, hold on, are you sure about that?
Does that work? Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh no, like I got a touch of the tism. You're like, like, are you sure? Like, are you sure? Like, because it can't be more than me. Like,
yeah.
Like, you seem way more normal than me. I don't know about that. Like,
and I'm okay. I don't get it.
Yeah. Oh no, I've got ADHD. I've got the tism.
Yeah.
Like I've bit all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, okay, maybe. And so what I've figured out over time, just talking to these people, is like, oh no, so they went to a doctor and they got a 0 result. So they went to another doctor and they got a 0 result. And eventually they found a doctor that was like, oh yeah, you're autistic. And it's like, hold on, how many doctors did you have to go to, man? Like,
yeah.
I'm sure, Adam, if you just kept going to that different doctor.
The whole thing, I hated it, man. I hated going over the same stories 24/7 with different sorts of people. And they'd always put you with someone different. They did that on purpose, I feel.
Oh, yeah.
Just to see how you'd like, if you want to hear the same story, if I've got to tell it to about 10 different people, will someone fucking record this?
Yeah. You just play it back.
Just play it. Yeah. Because it fucking hurts to go through all that shit and talk about it again. It brings up old memories. I'll go home. You go home and have dinner with your family and go to sleep. I'll go home and fight demons all night. You know, it was... Yeah, man, like they didn't understand that, but they're like, well, in order for us to help you, we need to know what's going on. We'll send, here's her number, ask her.
Yeah.
You know, like, don't make me go through it again.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
hard as well because, like, I can't imagine, like, those people, the majority of them anyway, I'm sure, are just there for a paycheck.
Absolutely.
And the few that are there to help, it must be so fucking hard. Like, they're true heroes. Like, dealing with that stuff day in and day out, like those people.
Oh man, the patience that they have, because I've been in like group sessions and all that sort of stuff. The way that they talk to people that don't even respond, man.
Yeah, I'm
like, oh fuck, that must be like you just want to get up and shake the person that's not talking.
Come on,
like, fucking just answer the question, motherfucker. It's not her, and they just turn away or something like that. You know, like a 2-year-old. Like, I don't want to talk about it. You know. Like, and little do they know, like, in the long run, I mean, I'm sort of contradicting myself here. It's better to talk about it.
But I mean, I almost feel like that's what you're doing with your poetry, man. Like,
yeah, man, that's what it's all about. That's how it first started. I think, like, it all started with like needing to talk about it and getting it out. even if no one heard it, I was talking to myself.
Yeah.
So like, I didn't understand what was going on here. Okay, let's try and write it out.
Yep.
So, and it happened like that.
It's an
I've
amazing.
stuck with it ever since.
I mean, that's an amazing instinct.
Yeah.
Like, and what an amazing tool, bro. Like, imagine if you didn't know how to write.
That's right. Well, it all stemmed from like a girl that I knew in high school. She wrote a poem for me, and I was like, oh, that's cool, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, why don't I give that a go? Anyway, I left it for weeks and weeks, and then like shit just built up that I was going through. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I wrote this piece called like Broken Hearted. I think it was my very first piece I ever wrote. And everything just poured out of me. Like suicidal thoughts, all this sort of stuff, like everything in one go that I was thinking just come into like a 6-page novel of me just writing shit down. Yeah. And then like it all come into like all the skill and all that came later when I started listening to rap and battles and all that sort of stuff. I was like, oh, you can actually play with words too. That's cool.
Yeah, it doesn't just have to be like a dear diary. Like you can actually like, have fun with it. Yeah. Dude, I like I had a very similar experience with the like understanding, like getting it down. Like so I did art in high school for the longest time, and I was super lucky to have like a good teacher that was like actually really instructive and really like, okay, no, like
makes a big difference.
Oh, dude, it fucking like, that was the only thing, I suppose, or one of the only things that like I took with me, and like not necessarily like writing, but like almost journaling of like, how did you get to this like idea? It was like the whole thing, like how did you get here, and like having to go through like, oh, what am I thinking about? Oh, I'll put it down on
paper. Yeah. That's exactly right, man. Spot on. Yep. So, all right, moving on. You got any more lines there?
Sure do. Win or lose, I have to make a decision.
Win or lose. So that was the whole, whether she doesn't like who I am or she does, I'm going in. This is me. And it's either going to be a winner or it's going to be a loser. So, and in my case, everyone listening, it was a winner. She accepted. She's also an artist herself. She's a painter.
Yeah.
So I wonder, because going from past relationships who weren't artists and have that understanding of that world, would she have been as understanding if she didn't understand that way? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there was that thought as well. Also, that was a line I scrapped, I think, that I wanted to put in there, but it was too obvious, man.
Yeah, you can't make it too obvious.
Because she didn't know who I was, you know what I mean? So I didn't know what shirt to pick. You should see me at the wardrobe. Is it the mirror game? Is this too much? I don't know, yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
I'd like us to try more.
Yeah, man.
That got me. That was one of the ones that just fucking grabbed me by the balls and was like, "Boy, cunt." Like, like this is fucking every day. Like, I'd like us to try more.
Yeah.
I was like, holy fuck!
So,
like,
I like us to try more. That was because, well, like looking at it at face value, it was we seen each other very little.
Yeah.
Because obviously we didn't know each other.
Yeah.
That well, but we were taking it slow because I said from the jump I wanted to take it slow. Blah blah blah. And, sorry, I've just completely lost my train of thought. What was the line again?
I'd like us to try more.
That's right. Yeah. So without pushing too much, I wanted us to try harder in figuring out if this is going to work.
Yes. Yeah.
Without taking it too fast.
Yeah.
So I didn't. That was probably the most confusing line for me, even though it's straight up front.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to say that. Yeah. So I just like, I think this is the line you just need to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, see where it goes.
I like, just to be honest, like I've said that exact same fucking thing, like literally word for word to my wife like fucking
Yep.
a good handful of times. Like,
Yeah, man. We need
hey,
to try more. Yeah.
we're not doing so good. Like,
Yeah.
I'd like us to try more.
Yeah. We're a
And
team. Let's
yeah, yeah, like,
Man,
and
I've been through the exact same thing.
we can be better. We can be better. You know. Like
Exactly, man.
it just takes both parties to get on the same page on this. Like I'd like
Exactly, man.
us to try more. Yeah.
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 Takes two to tango.
Yeah, for sure. Dude.
Yeah. And if one is not in it, then it's not going to work.
Yeah, that's right.
It's very hard to, man. So yeah, well, I've been through exactly what you just said, but like that line was trying more when we meet up.
Yeah.
Let's try new things and see what we can get out of it, and see if you like it, see if I like it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, if I do this, will she like that? If she does this, will I like that? You know what I mean? Like, let's open up a bit more.
Yeah.
And see if we like what we see or
what
we're doing.
And I think the larger thing is still the same on like both sides of that. Like, is like, let's commit a bit more. Like, let's both commit a bit more and see what happens.
Yeah.
It's like,
because time was also against us at that time as well. Like, that was the whole point of that line as well. Like, we don't see each other often, so let's make the most of it when we do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, instead of, it's going to sound very poetic. When it's pouring outside, instead of going under for shelter, let's stand out in the rain. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, let's take some risks. Let's do this. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's many ways you can interpret that line, but it was so.
Well, it spoke to me, bro. It spoke to me. So yeah. It's just amazing. Like this, like then this is like I have to keep going back to this, man. Of like that finger touching the cosmic nerve, man. It really is. Like there's something about really good art.
Yeah. I love the idea when people ask the questions like yourself that want to break down the piece instead of just reading it and going, oh yeah, that's good. I want someone to ask me the question, what do you mean by this? Like, this, and this. Like, I've thought about doing like an Instagram live of breaking down all my lines, but I was like, who's going to listen? Who's going to get it?
See, I think
there's no one to talk to. It's just me on the screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's right. And I think the problem with that would be that there's not the reciprocal on the other side, because you actually almost need, because you know what you think. So it's not interesting for you to go through it.
Yeah.
Where you're just saying what you think. It's like you need that something to bounce off to kind of.
It's not interesting for me to, because I know how I think, but it's interesting for me to put it out in the open and see what others think.
Yeah.
So it's and it's hard to find the right crowd. That's another battle.
Yeah,
that's the biggest battle, man. Like if you don't have
I really want to talk about the whole Instagram thing. So like. Like it's something that's super interesting to me, and like just in terms of and we might as well do it now. Like we can get back to this.
We're on.
I am super confused by your Instagram page.
Yep.
It blows my mind that you have whatever nearly 3,000 fucking Instagram followers.
Yep.
And
this is what infuriates me. I think I know the question you're about to ask.
You had one video.
I know. Yep.
You had one video on there. So in my mind, right, I'm like, because I was showing so like I'm friends with a bunch of artists. Like in particular like Tattoo, right?
Yes.
And these guys have comparable like Instagram pages, maybe in the like 5-7 kind of range. But like but also these people are like basically like the top tier of their industry for a specific thing, right?
Yeah.
And if you go and look at their pages, it's like 3 times a week uploading fucking their latest stuff with a big message, all this stuff. I'm like looking at your page with your one video, and your whatever 2,600 fucking followers going.
It's like I don't. I know exactly. I've had this question so many times. It's not about. I found with Instagram, like it took me a while to figure it out. to gain followers, it's not about posting, it's about interacting.
Yeah.
If you interact with the crowd that you're, the bloody, what's the word? I'm lost.
You group.
The group that you're within, like poetry, for example. Like if you're in that group, like they're doing lives, they're doing prompts, you get involved with everything they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's like I think I got like, I want to say like 20 followers from making people laugh on a live that I spent maybe 10 minutes on.
Yeah.
Like it was just something I said, and I got random messages saying, "Oh, you're so funny. You should do lives more often. I'm just following you because you're funny." Like all this sort of shit. And I was like, ugh. But then I also figured out, because I don't know if you noticed, like I've got the, I don't know, whatever it is. What is it? 2,000 followers or something. But my views on videos, because I take them off so much, but like the most views I was getting in a video was like maybe 200.
Yeah.
That was about it.
Yeah, but the interaction is totally on the opposite. Like you got so much interaction.
Yeah, the main thing I was doing was like people weren't watching it, so then I was doing lives and reading to them. So at first I was just putting words up like on slides and shit. I'm like, oh, people are not going to read fucking 10 pages. Like who has the time to do that? I don't even have the fucking time to do that. So then I'm like, oh, I'll do videos. I'll read to them like a bedtime story, the babies, all this sort of stuff. And then people were watching for a little while and then they weren't. And you're like, and then I got into that mindset where I'm like, fuck, I'm putting so much effort into this writing, the performance, etc. No one's watching. It was pissing me off. So then I was attending lives and I was reading to them again and trying to throw some sort of theatrical performance in there to make them, oh, fuck, well, this guy. Yeah. And that gained for a little while, but then people just stopped watching and stopped listening and all this sort of stuff. And I was like, I like separated myself from it for ages and forgot how to use it. Yeah. So, and I found like, for example, like you've watched that quarterback you probably would, but because you've had like a deeper meaningful like reaction to it. So you'd probably remember that in say a month's time. If I took that off and reposted it. Yeah. So if you've seen it again, you'd be like, oh yeah, I remember this. You know? Yeah. See, I was testing a theory, like I was marking down who's watched it. Right. Okay. Yeah. And then I was taking it away and then reposting it. And the same 5 people that I've posted down were saying, this is so good. Like, it's good to see you post. It's something new, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, you've already fucking seen this, So they're not listening. They're not watching. So I don't like to leave stuff on there for too long because I don't want them to resonate with it too much. Yeah. Because I'm not going to remember it. So I keep reposting, taking away and like, oh, if the time is right for this topic, I'll put it up. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then more people will see it. More people will go, oh, that's exactly what I've been feeling the last few days. I said, yeah, because that's what's fucking happening in the world, you idiot. Yeah. I've just pulled you in. You didn't even fucking know it. So yeah, I'm a con artist, mate. That's
awesome, bro. Wait, I'm all for that con, man. That's awesome. That's awesome.
But like I said, I'm starting to separate from it again. I had one video up when you seen it, and I'm like, oh, I suppose I got to put a few up for you to, sort of dissect
I'm pretty
and watch.
Sure. I'm pretty sure. By the way, when this comes out, I'll give you a heads up. What I'm going to do is, so I've got 2 in the bag now. So I got Mick, and now I'll have you. But Mick's is going to be a 2-parter. So what I'm going to do is do Mick's first half and then yours, and then Mick's second half. And I was just basically waiting for this interview to happen, so that I can post Mick's because it's already edited and everything like that. It's ready to go. Yep. I just wanted to have like an extra, like like an actual, like another interview already recorded before I
just a backup. Yeah, man.
But for sure, what I'll do is make sure I give you a heads up so that you can let everybody know and whatever. But anyway, dude, I got a lot of respect for your fucking Instagram game. That's for damn sure. It's
just figuring shit out. Like I'm an overthinker, so I'm like,
so
okay, this is
on
not
the
working. Let's try something new.
on the Instagram thing, I have
Yeah.
to ask you about your story of going to the US.
Yes. Yep.
So let's hear the Adam travels to the US story, please.
Right. Yeah. All right. Where do I begin? Well, I met this writer on like fuck. Do you want the long version or you want the short story? Long
No,
story
we
short.
do. We got a lot of time. It's not even 9 yet. Like, let's
Yeah.
go.
How good. So I met this writer on a writing app, Rhymer's Block. There's a place for like rappers, rhymers, poets, whatever it was. And I was like following her for a while, and like she pulled me in with her writing, like the way I related heavy to it. She was like sort of a same similar style to what I was doing. I was like, So I like messaged her, and at the time, I really wanted to write an erotic piece.
Yep.
I was writing to because I'm always down for trying new things, and I'm like, I like a challenge, and if it makes me think, I want to write it.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there going, how do I make an erotic piece, basically porn on paper?
Yep.
So I was going through that whole, yep. And Steve sent me all this porn number. so yeah, I got to
You
that.
definitely don't want Steve's porn. That's not the kind of porn you want, by the way.
Oh Jesus!
Shout out to Steve Thompson, by the way.
Yeah. So yeah, it got to that. So and a lot of her stuff, her writing was adultery sort of stuff, like unfaithfulness, cheating, sex, all this sort of stuff. And I was like, but she'd be a good fit because obviously you need two to tango to write a sex piece, right?
Yeah.
And from the jump, I said to her, look, will you write a sex piece with me? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I'll write first. She ended up writing a verse first, and then I'll just respond to it like we're a couple,
like a back and
forth, like portraying two characters in a story, right? And it went on for a while, like the constant reply. Like she wrote her verse in like I would say 20 minutes.
Yeah, right.
And I hit her back with a verse the next day. Once I got to it, it took me roughly around the same time, maybe a bit longer. And from then on, like it just like lit something up in both our heads, and it just went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah,
and like from a 2-verse story it was meant to be, turned out to be, which is still not finished, is now like up to like 15 verses each. Just back and forth. Yeah, man. It was just crazy. So anyway, we like developed a friendship, all that, and we were going to write a book together, all this sort of stuff because with that it was called Erotic Verses, the whole piece. And it turned out it was going to be like we intertwined another story called Library Scene, where a couple have sex in a library, blah, blah, blah. And then it was going to worm its way into that story.
Yeah.
So we're going to join the two. Anyway, friendship got stronger. We were talking like every day. And then, like, as I was going through some shit in my last relationship, it was affecting my writing, and she loved me for my writing.
Yeah.
So she was like, oh, I need you to, focus on this writing because we can make something really big out of this, blah, blah, blah. So she was doing everything in her power to help me get away from like bad situations. So it got to the point where she was sending me money to get away and doing all this sort of stuff and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, fuck, like, this is wrong. You shouldn't be just sending stuff to a stranger, blah, blah, blah. But she's like, oh, I trust you, all this sort of shit. And then this one, like, I had this massive outburst from a past relationship, and like I was going to be readmitted to the psych ward. And the next day I got this 20-minute voicemail from her saying, what would you say if I paid for your trip to come to America to spend like 3 months over here, and we can just write, finish this book, write whatever you want. And I had to think about it. I was like, oh, sounds great. Obviously all this stuff was going through my head. Like, is that all you want? Because at the time she was very forward, like saying like, in like a poetic way. Instead of saying love me, she's like, I write you and all this sort of stuff. And I was like, I didn't know how to take it. So at one point I was like, hang on, am I leading her on with portraying these characters? Like I was so confused, man. But all I was doing that I knew of was writing. And she just took it too far. Anyway, things were getting tough here. So I agreed to the American trip, but I agreed to go for a month.
Okay.
So anyway, skipping ahead for a second, I was only there for 2 weeks because COVID hit while I was over there.
Yeah.
And I was so close to being stuck over there for like a year. I just made it back before they shut the airports. So that was lucky.
Or longer. Yeah.
Yeah, man, or longer, depending how I would have got back. Yeah. And we got there and writing wasn't even on the cards, man. Got in her house. It got creepy for a while. She was touching. She was trying to start stuff. She was all this sort of stuff. And I'm like, I'm not here for that. I've told you from the jump. I just want to write. Anyway, then she'd calm down for a bit. It got to the point, man, where like I never knew this this saying until I actually felt it. I slept with one eye open. It got that bad.
Really?
I was afraid. I got scared, man. Like she was, because she was, I don't know, she'd been single for like so long and all this sort of stuff. She like, that was all she wanted. Coming on too hard. She's like, oh, you're perfect and all this sort of stuff. I was like, whoa, calm down. So anyway, I ended up like gaping away to my uncle's. I was lucky I had a great uncle over there that lived in Washington.
Yeah.
So my mum got in contact with him and I managed to get away from her. But we were talking still. But the times that like when we wrote was so good, man. It was like a dream come true.
Yeah.
Like we spent a night in a beautiful hotel above like ocean views, and we sat at the ocean, like out on the balcony, and we wrote these fantastic pieces together.
Where was it?
And it was over in like, I never remember the names of the places, but she was in New Jersey.
Yeah.
But we stayed at, it was like a casino. I can't remember exactly where it was.
That's right. Doesn't matter, man.
Yeah. But yeah, we stayed in this casino and we wrote like this amazing piece, which, see, with her and I, we always argued through rhyming and writing. Yeah. That was the way we contacted. That's the way we, and we wrote this amazing piece, man, called Hostage Negotiation. And it was fuck, man. Yeah, man. So
a little bit
deep,
too close
man.
to the bone.
Yeah, man. It was, but like, and I said my dream was to always be in the same room with a writer that was exactly like me and write out a piece. And then she said, "Oh, my dream was to see you perform it." So I was like, "Oh, okay," but like her dream was to see me perform it while I was writing it, because when I write, I'm up acting out words and walking around the room and trying to act out the words so I get the full feel of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, I want to see that, get up and, start walking around. So I was doing that and she was like, it was a great night. Like that was probably a memory I'll carry to the grave. But apart from all the other stuff, man, it was crazy, eh?
Wow. Wow, dude.
Yeah.
I'd never heard, so like I only had heard from Mick that you were going, and then I think I talked to you just after you got back.
Yeah.
And where you were like, "Oh, dude, I only just got back because it's like the whole COVID thing and everything." But I didn't know like the broader story. So yeah.
Oh, it was crazy, man. Like I was, and it didn't help at the time that like I hated my uncle's company too.
Okay.
He's a very strong-willed man, and I didn't like being around him. So I was like, "Fuck! I'm in a completely different world here, not liking any person here." I was like walking around the streets, going, "Where the fuck am I? What am I doing?
Yeah.
How do I get home? I'm thinking I'm going to be stuck here if I don't get out on this airport." Yeah. And then it was emotional time because my kids were FaceTiming me and like, "Fuck! I'm at this point where I might not see you for a year." Like, how do I get home? And fuck, it was my uncle come around and my mum like worked to the bone, like with no sleep to find me a flight to get me home. So it was lucky.
Wow.
Yeah, man, it's a fucking big journey. But to be honest, man, like that piece, it's amazing. Well, we wrote probably.
Is that published somewhere?
I have a video of it, but I took it down because it really upset a lot of people that I situated with it on Instagram, because I read it in an angry manner because I was upset.
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
very upset, man.
Yeah.
And even I agreed afterwards, saying that's not how that piece was meant to sound. But you have to understand, like I gave him a long version, the shorter version of the story. You have to understand how upset I was.
Yeah.
And all this sort of stuff, and how I was treated, and how it looked, and how scared I was. So it come out like almost as a jab at her in an angry way.
Okay. Yeah.
So I've taken it down to and I've thought about re-recording it, and I really can't be bothered.
Dude, you should get her to record. So in my mind, this is like I know this could be completely not right, but
yeah.
Did she write certain sections and you wrote other sections?
Well, see, it's not verse for verse, this one. We wrote line for line in this one.
Oh, okay.
So there are certain sections like in the piece where she'll write like a line, and then I carry the next 6 lines, and then she'll have like that's what the dream was for me, was like sitting in a room and picking apart lines with someone with the same talent.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Like when 2 collaborations happen, like if you're 2 favorite artists or something, you're like, fuck, I would have loved to have been in that room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, that's how it felt. And like since I started writing, I was like, I'd love to have that connection. That was what I was so wanted so badly through the whole time in writing period. And I finally got it. And that piece, man, that's why I said I'll carry that to the grave. But it was so
that experience you're carrying to the grave. Like the experience
it was
actually being there doing that.
Yep. So we wrote, like I said, we wrote a lot of different pieces. But like when I got home also, which what upset a few other people, I added like 6 lines in at the end to sort of explain how I felt when I got home.
Yeah.
And
you've been through a traumatic event.
Yeah, man. She didn't like that.
Okay.
Other people that associated with her didn't like that. It got scary for a while. I had people like dissing me from like all different directions. I was like, what the fuck? Really? Like you're shooting the wrong target here. You know what I mean? And she was like sitting there getting all the praise on Instagram because she's in a group that's got a big following, blah, blah, blah. And then like I sat back and I was talking to another writing friend, and they're like, just let it blow over, just let it pass. And then I had like mates in my ears going, no, fuck, diss it back, like all this sort of stuff. Like you've got the writing ability to take them all down, do it. And I was like, no, because then it's just going to blow shit out of proportion, all this sort of stuff. And I don't want to ruin that memory of that piece.
Yeah, I was about to say,
it was like,
that wasn't the thing. Like you were just trying to give it context. It wasn't like you were trying to do something like to make somebody look bad. Like, yeah, buddy. Like, I'm happy to read that piece to you to give. Oh, really? I would
like a more insight of it. Yeah, I have it right in front of me, man. So
I would love it if you could, bro. That would be awesome.
Yeah, man. So it'll make more sense, like hearing it. So you'll be like, oh fuck, you know what I mean? Like it's literally.
Let's go. I'm
word for word of
I'm
like
fully G'd up
what
for
happened.
G'd up for this.
So it's as I said like before, like hostage negotiation. So cornered. I'll read it slow, so like you can take it in probably.
Yeah.
Cornered him for her entertainment because she wanted to be intimate. Sex wasn't her intention. That wasn't his understanding. Just wanted to be close to him and hopes to feel appreciated, real invested in, have interest in her advancement. But was this incident a catalyst to write a good piece? Because that's what they're doing. She's offering. He's not giving in. What an awkward feeling to be experiencing. Expressing it in person is not a strength of his. He's a wordsmith and prefers it's penned only in the writing. She tried to change his mind. Drinks gave her confidence, became belligerent to the point of sabotage, trying to have him let down his guard to reassure her she had his heart. But because minus he, all they were left with was this art. In this unexpected role reversal in their path, she's the sole aggressor. He would have been the initiator had he wanted more, he said. The torment was like a tournament for him, and the opposition had the upper hand with home field advantage. Alone, he feels challenged. She knows he's challenged, but still challenges his mental health. This man can tell he's uncomfortable. He will struggle to perform well. His caregiver had become his trigger, held a gun at gunpoint, toyed to be a good boy, destroyed all the fun. There's no compassion from either of them. Usually the person with the weapon is a decision maker, but he's calling the shots in this power struggle by trying his coaching's advice to push past her arms put up for guard. Armed with disregarding his need for departing, avoiding bodily harming even when the tendency is starting to shift in that direction. He's out of his element. She begins to question his intentions. He can't handle the predicament in her so-called natural progression of this connection while he's stepping right to left to get out of the situation, and it takes his puzzled frustration until she lets him be the alpha male in charge of the hostage negotiation she had him restrained in. Not the first time this had happened since his stay, the day before her hands had explored where her words once were. Tracing over the lines she scribed that he'd only ever provide in his lines on paper when he'd write thinking it's all she'd want. So he had no response to her try, other than to tell her it was unfavorable, wasn't for him. He wasn't up for engagement. She continuously tried to engage him, but he didn't come here for that. And she said, why the hell not? He stated, I'm attracted to your mind, love. She's screaming, so you're telling me this is a mind fuck. How? Yeah, I swear I'm mind fucking you right now. Aren't you getting off? Guess it's her loss again because she spent so much time and money on him. Accounts exhausted emotionally, financially, wallets empty, no friends with benefits to agree. She selects poorly, says poor me, poor decision, screwball, glass tall, few more. What? Last call for alcohol. This time I'll call shots, shots, shots. Bangs her hand on bar. She's gone too far. He's traveled further and wants to go back to Australia. She falls back into the character of a mother and says she's sorry. Hates to see him suffer. Makes him feel better. Promising she'll be on her best behavior, and asks what else would help put the thoughts to rest. And he said, I'd much like to go for a drive. She asked, can it wait for daylight? He replies, all right. Then finds he'd stayed out on the couch that night like her husband did all the time. Did Adamant lie for the first time in his rhymes like he was impotent and didn't want to be judged? Or was the moment just inconvenient for us? Or did he not really want this to prevail? Because now they're sitting, writing this piece in peace, completely in sync, comfortable in this hotel. Now that's where it ends when we wrote it together. Then I add this part. Well, their death was in their hands, and it was unknown. They just wrote their funeral plans. This was the final poem they shared, and he went home when he got out of her state, en route back to his safe house. Left no trace to be located and disconnected his tracer anklet. He gave her nothing, yet she gave him an unexpected benefit to be happy to live with. It had to be written and acted, and he was active in that instant. She set him free. He thanks poetry. It sure took some fight, 4 flights along the way, and a lot of wrongs to write on the page. The jet lag you've had is not the same. So that was it.
Oh, dude.
His journey, yeah.
That's a fucking journey, man.
Like if I read that properly, you'll hear like all
No. I'm sure. Like I got it, man. Yeah. So,
like I said, man, like that, such a memory. And we wrote, I think maybe 2, maybe 3 or 4 other pieces each while we were there as well, that are just as good as that one, man. And like we still talk. We haven't spoken in probably a month now, but we still occasionally talk.
So you're on good terms.
Yeah, good terms. Like we talk with our like relation to art, to writing.
Yeah.
So, but we don't write anymore together. So that's, yeah, which is a pity in some ways.
Oh, dude, that was a beautiful piece, man. And what's more interesting to me than, I mean, the story's amazing. Like it makes it what it is. Like the context, you know what I mean? But also the fact that you guys wrote that together
Yeah.
Like it's super raw.
We used to look at it in so many different levels, how like our friendship was like, uh she's like, she used to say like, what's my future looking like tomorrow? And I'd be like, I don't know, what did I do in my past that I can do better tomorrow? Like she, like, because she was behind me and I'm in front of her,
Yeah.
like all this sort of stuff, because she's on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
So it's, and for me to travel back in time to write a piece to bring home tomorrow was like, it was so, we looked at it in so many deep ways. It was very inspiring. So it was very easy to write things with her. So we understood exactly what each other was thinking, blah, blah, blah. So we grew like a massive friendship from that. So it was good. So, and I'm thankful that we can still be like, you know, we can be, you know, sensible and still talk. Yeah. We can still be civil. That's what I was looking for.
So I've got like a bunch of different questions that I'd love to ask you, but let's just try and do like a fucking fastball through these last few of my notes, which is basically so identity.
Yeah.
And I feel like we talked a little bit about this before.
Like as in my writing title?
Yeah. But I feel like we talked about, weirdly, we like actually like already kind of touched on this.
I think we have once before, yeah, man. But I've been through a lot of names because it was hard to find one that suited me.
Yeah.
I went through like Unmasking a Stranger. I think that was the first one.
Yep.
That was more like a novel that I wanted to title, Unmasking a Stranger. Then I went optimistic, and then I was like, I'm not optimistic because all the time, like all this shit. And then there was
reality.
And then I tried to like relate more to my words, like I'm stubborn with concepts, like, and then I was like, nah, that's not it. And then I started looking up, like, because it's sort of it suited more well to me than the others, and I stuck with stubborn for a while. And then I was like, oh, hang on a minute. I looked up, you know, synonyms to stubborn, and adamant was there. And I was like, oh, I'm adamant in what I'm saying, and Adam is in the title.
Yeah.
So I've stuck with that ever since, man. So
Adamant. He is adamant.
That's, and I tried to portray my Instagram name into what other people would say. Yeah. He is adamant. Instead, I was going to say, oh, I am adamant. No, I want someone else to say, oh, who's this guy? He is adamant. Yeah. So where I'm from, like when my first, like where I'm from, like Rhymer's Block, that app I mentioned earlier, you have to have, well, you don't have to have, but you're known more for your clever title, who you want to be. So there's so many people on there. Like one guy that I praise for his writing, his title is lyricist.
Lyricist.
So he's assisting you with his lyrics.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be like lyricist, like
like LYRASSIST.
Yeah,
so he's assisting you with his lyrics. So lyricist, lyricist.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, man, that is next level. And like his writing, man, it's mate.
Hey, can I give you? Can I give you a line? Can I give you a line?
Yeah, man. Yep, hit me.
Hungry like a homeless man who hasn't eaten in weeks. He's too tired to eat and too hungry to sleep.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's poetic.
Yeah, you like you mentioned something earlier about like a similar thing.
Yep.
This whole time it's been in my head. I'm like, fucking, like, God damn it, I have to fucking say this. So
I just wanted to touch base on that. Like there was like, say that line again.
Hungry like a homeless man who hasn't eaten in weeks. He's too tired to eat and too hungry to sleep. Hungry like a homeless man who hasn't eaten in weeks.
But to get other places he could, to see other faces he should, inside, we all know in our minds he's hungry like a wolf.
There we go.
He's hungry for more. So yeah, I don't know.
Dude, I've got fucking books and books and books.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's sick, man. I'm a big interest in like hearing other people's writing. So if you
I
feel
actually
confident to share, man.
I actually was gonna like grab out one of my books. There's like one poem in particular that I was like, hey, look,
Dude,
I gotta show them.
yes,
Actually, hold on. Let's just do it. We haven't got long
let's
left.
do it.
All right, so I'm gonna give you context though, because this is like
Yeah,
actually
man, hit me.
it's actually some pretty bullshit writing. Like I just gotta
Yep,
say off the bat, like it's not that good. But you gotta understand
nothing is bullshit, man.
well,
Yep,
you're like within context, right? So like the
yep.
context is I was a what, like 17-year-old kid.
That's okay.
Um
Yeah, man.
and like when you're fucking a teenager, or at least I don't know from your experience or from my experience, I was like
Yeah, I didn't know
basically
what's what and what's real. I just thought to put it in there.
yeah, I was just straight up like a total nihilist. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah, okay.
like I
Yep,
genuinely just like because yeah, like I came from like a structure of like
yep,
this is what's good and this is what bad. This is like
yep,
this is the thing,
yep.
right? So like I kind of got to this point where I was like, oh fuck everything,
Yeah.
Like so that's the context anyway. Like this is what I was
Okay.
going through
Yep.
at the time. It's called sadistic voyeurism.
Oh,
Um
deep.
and so like this entire concept came from a conversation that I had with a train driver's son.
That's
So
wicked, man.
so the train driver's son, he was telling me about how his dad, like the biggest problem when somebody would kill themselves on the tracks,
Yep.
it wasn't the cleanup or like the legal stuff or the police or anything like that.
Yep.
Like the biggest problem for him was the fact that they just couldn't get people to stop like looking at it.
Yeah.
So they'd have like a fucking dead body like underneath a fucking
Shit.
train that's like
Yeah.
spread out for like hundreds and hundreds of meters. And
Wow, man.
the thing that they struggled with the thing that he struggled with the most
Yeah.
was the fact that they couldn't stop people from fucking like just accumulating around it and being like, what the fuck is going
Yeah,
on here?
man. Yeah.
Yeah, so sadistic voyeurism, like so like they're
Okay.
sadists, like they're like
Yep.
sadists,
Yep.
like, and they're like voyeurs,
Always with you. Yep.
Yeah, okay. So that's like the background, and then the entire thing was like supposed to be a piece, and so like I made like performance art.
Uh-huh.
So had like a fucking I don't know, like a tripod, and like I
Yep.
don't know, this is like art class, right? Like give me a
Yeah,
break.
cool.
But like I had like a
Yeah, no.
tripod. Yeah. It's pretty lame. It's pretty lame. But I had like a tripod, and
Yep.
like carved the spine out of a fucking broom, and then on the top of it
Yeah.
put like a fucking those like heads you get from like
Yes.
you
Yep.
just buy like a styrofoam head. Like,
Yep. Yep.
like so I like serrated the neck of it. So, and like
Creative.
painted it all. Yeah, I know, right?
Right? So good.
Teenager. Keep it in mind. And then like cut open the top of the head and like same
Yep.
deal, serrated. And then I went and bought with my own money because
Yep.
I had a job. Again, I'm like fucking, whatever, 16, 17. Went and bought a bunch of lamb's brains
Okay.
and a bunch of lamb's liver.
Yep.
And so I started off the piece. I did this real intense because I've always been into like metal, in particular like death metal.
Yes.
Like
Yep.
blast beats, like
Yeah. All that screamo stuff. Yep.
And so as that starts playing, I get these livers,
Yep.
and like start jabbing them up into the base of the neck. So
Okay.
it starts looking more and more like a human.
Man, you had a vision.
No, I did.
You were really in character there, man.
And so yeah, like as the like thing, and then like there's like always like fucking gore dripping down from it. By the way, my art teachers were definitely not happy about this.
Yeah.
So
He's not crazy. He's an artist.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, exactly, Adam. Exactly. This isn't this is okay.
Yeah.
It's just art,
Yeah.
right,
It's
guys?
just art.
Right?
That's right.
So I got all the liver put in, and then I stopped and like turned to all of our we got like the two art classes together there.
Yes. Yep.
Like I stopped. No, the music's like still going, so I just turned it down slowly. And I was like, so this is like the intro.
Yep.
So I'm gonna struggle to read this. It's all written in pencil.
That's all right, man. Take your time.
Today's generation of now and here live for pleasure, and minds warped by serrated mountains of mad shadows carving towards misdeed live for life. Unaffected by the harshness of reality, we mask the emotions of the humane as a virtue. We are born of the flame, unto the darkness. We are the 1 minute generation, moving forward and moving on, living for the present. The time is now. The time is now. Our chemical romance goes on. Slowly, melancholia takes our minds, lost to a world where we need ecstasy. With stars erased now, throw the gates wide. Take life by the road. Take life by the throat. Live every second.
Ooh.
And then
deep, man.
Right. Turn the music up. Here's me turning the music back up.
Yeah.
Plonking some brains down on the table.
Yep.
Unwrapping the brains. And then putting all the brains in the head. And then putting skewers around the head to keep the brains in.
Right.
And then turn the fucking and again.
Yeah, away it goes again.
Yeah. turn the music down. And this is like the goodbye. Unaffected by this, a true product of society's eyes, paralyzed with the pleasure of sadistic satisfaction, the voyeur inside, satisfied with the face of today's madness, emotionally numb. They are the ones who made you like this. So much stimulus, distraction, my true friend. Can't be able to reflect. Paranoia of storm choirs, singing of pseudo dramas gather. Pre-poison to sodomize a world at its knees. We are trapped, predetermined destinies. We don't rule as master, but servant to society as Satan robed in excremental filth. But if you felt the serrated razor of moral stain upon your tongue, then you should take comfort in knowing that you are one of the few. You are one of the last. If you drink of the light, you live privy to my dreams fulfilled. But if you fuck society, the whore, night and day, manipulated minds, bent and broke, then slash her throat and drink with me of her blood.
Wow. Man. Like your voice is so in tune with that.
Yeah, because I fucking believe it, man. That's why.
Yeah, man. That's fucking deep. I love it. That's good, man. Like that gives it, that's a whole nother that's a whole other side to the writing I'm used to, which is good. Because I love new things.
Yeah.
So that's put me up to wanting to try something like that now.
Yeah, I mean, look, honestly, I just I think at the time I was just dealing with a bunch of shit or whatever, similar to what you're talking about, you know.
You had that Avatar mind, and Avatar wasn't even a thing, mate.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was just trying to and this is where I think that the difference that I was maybe confused about, or not necessarily confused about, but the difference I think a lot of people would draw.
Yep.
Is with it's very easy as a consumer of art to look at art and be like, oh, that speaks directly to me, therefore it must be that must be the message.
Yeah.
Whereas getting to understand your stuff a little bit better, I feel like it's no, you've got your own thing going on.
Yeah. We all have our own trouble, our own past, don't we?
Yeah. So it's easy to it's very easy to kind of take it as on a face value, you know?
Yes. Yep.
Where I feel a lot of your stuff, but this was just face value. That is just that is just the angsty 16-year-old.
That's
what
straight up. Yeah. Man, I'd
I
love to
was
hear
super
more.
proud of it, though.
Surely you got more in those books, so I'd have to hear them.
I got a lot more in those books, but yeah,
That's good, man.
it's actually mostly art though, like
Yeah.
and then like the pictures that go with it, but
Okay.
or like
Yeah.
yeah, it's like the pictures and the fucking writing, but
Yeah.
but yeah, yeah, I've definitely got like just books and books and books filled with that stuff.
Yeah.
But
That's so good, man. But yeah,
yeah,
that's given me a whole new different side to the way of thinking of things and the way of a different writing style of character that I should portray. It's very cool.
dude, I for the longest time internalized like basically being a I don't know what you would even call it. Like, it's not necessarily like demon, but like
Yes. Yeah.
being like the bringer of joy, but like
Yeah.
joy through defying all like norms. So
Like what's the word I'm looking for? You're on the right track. Yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah, there's something
Um
about like completely breaking people's understandings of like what is acceptable and
yes.
that is like such
Yeah.
a like amazing thing to be able to like destroy to be the destroyer but also the creator.
Like taking the blindfold off eyes sort of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
man. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's that word that I can't think of, like just basically pointing the fingers and undoing the blinds and shining light on things that people seem to miss
Yeah,
or don't think enough about it, sort of thing. I'm
yeah.
with you. Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah, man.
I don't even actually know like that was not my that was not my intention to fucking do that. I did think about it
Yeah.
before, but like so I
Yeah. Yeah.
suppose there's part of me that was like, oh, I could have maybe, but
Like I
anyway,
said, man, you don't have to portray these characters in real life. That's why we do these things on paper.
yes, yeah, yeah. That's why it's a character.
So
Yeah.
you can commit murder on that paper and get away with it.
Yes. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
amount of people I've killed on paper, man, I've lost count. I've lost count of the sick, sadistic ways that I've killed people.
Yeah.
I'm talking torture style,
Yeah.
in a rhyming manner.
Yeah.
The things I've done on paper, man, will not be taken lightly in real life.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you, but it's okay because you're not going to be
So,
judged on that because you're like
exactly.
Adam, the human.
Yeah.
Who's like, but
That's-
you're not the guy on paper.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, I try not to be anyway.
So getting back to identity.
Yep.
One of the lines that I got from, and I can't actually remember where it came, like which one of your pieces that you got up at the moment you were talking about, but you were basically like one of the lines was roughly about how you recognize that it's a wasted talent, or like that
Wasted talent.
yeah, something like that, right? And it could have been like that was probably just wordplay. It could have been like going one way and then the other. So what I kind of wanted to like ask is like, are you happy in your skin? Like, are you happy in your role? Like, do you?
It's at that point where I know I should have done more when I first started realizing, oh, I'm actually pretty good at this.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
Hmm.
I've been offered a few times to go up on stage and I've not done it.
Yeah.
A guy that I know who's a spoken word artist is now traveling the world. And I still kick myself to this day. About, I don't know, probably 3 years ago, he got me a spot next to him on stage. It was a massive crowd in Brisbane.
Yeah.
And he wanted me to be his support act. And I couldn't pick a piece. All these doubts were coming in. I didn't think I was confident enough to go up on stage, blah, blah, blah. So I like spoiled this massive opportunity. And that just comes into being wasted talent. Like I'm not doing anything with it. It's just me performing on Instagram and that's it. Like it's But like recently, like people are recognizing words, and I've been getting on like lives and podcasts and all that sort of stuff, and YouTube lives and things like that. So it's starting to unfold again. People are recognizing and asking questions that they've never asked before.
Yeah.
So it's starting to make me realize, okay, people will notice what I do. Because, when you think, when no one watches a video that I make for like fucking hours, I'm like, what was the fucking point of that? I just went through all this like losing time in the day and not spending time with people I should have been, blah, blah, blah. You put it up going, yes, this is going to get a lot of views and a lot of like perspectives on, and nothing happens. And I'm sitting there like, fuck.
Dude, we have such a different perspective on that.
Yep.
Like,
yep.
Like really, really different perspective on that.
Yep.
At
the same time,
yeah,
I don't really care. But on the other hand, there was a part of me that once used to want to be rewarded. You know what I mean? Like, getting the pat on the back. But
yeah,
now, because I've like pushed myself away from all the lights and all the, come be on this live, come be on that live. No, not interested. I've like shut that whole side of me off, and I'm just writing for fun. So
I think that's far more healthy.
Yeah,
I think that's way more healthy. Too. And I think that actually you're going to have a bigger impact doing that, because you're not doing it for anybody else,
Yeah, that's right. And that fuck man, it's funny you say that, because like when I was writing a piece the other day, I'm sitting there going, it's about like what I originally started writing for.
Yeah.
It was therapy for me.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't to get anyone to relate. It wasn't to speak out to anyone or get anyone to come up and go, this is so good, blah, blah, blah. It was for me because I was dying inside.
Yeah.
So I needed to do it. And this was for me. It was to work myself out. Like my mind was a Rubik's Cube.
Yeah.
And I had to put it out in words to solve it.
Just trying to understand.
And yeah, man. And then I've slowly getting back into that mindset. And it's a lot of people are receiving it better. Like in one of my latest pieces, I say like people are starting to notice like relating to it, and that's making me more happier than wanting people to actually just read it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you understand what
I'm saying. Yeah, for sure, dude.
So it was making me more happy that they were relating and it was helping them like it helped me. So yeah.
That's awesome, man.
But yeah, you are right, man. Like it definitely has a better impact.
Yeah, so my like entire fucking thesis on that is basically like, dude, like the conversations we have, like that, I can break it down to like an individual conversation level. Yeah. Like not even necessarily something you put out on Instagram that might get like in 10,000 views or any whatever. Like, but like just literally me to you. If it actually genuinely means something for you, then that means that there's a part of you that changes. And that change, if you genuinely believe it, if you genuinely are affected by it, then you pass that on to your children.
Yeah.
Or you pass that on to your friends.
Yeah.
You pass that bit of freedom, that bit of understanding, that bit
it's a lesson you've learned that you can teach to someone else.
Yeah. And that to me is far more powerful than
absolutely, man.
Than whatever, like, making money off some fucking
or someone sharing it and liking it and all that sort of shit, man. Like what is it?
Yeah. No, the thing that is the real like the real deal is if you actually affect somebody. If somebody genuinely takes it on and it changes their perspective. Like, that's powerful, man.
Yeah, man. Man, that's why music is life, man. It's so powerful. Like the words people say and you relate to them, like fuck it. Like that quarterback, man, you thought I was talking directly to you.
I literally did, man. I actually thought,
like,
like I thought it was
come
a different
back on
thing.
me, like fuck. Yeah. Like the concept, I'm thinking, how does the concept talk to him? And then I was like going through tunnels in my mind, going, okay, maybe he's relating in this or he's relating there. Like it really, really made me happy, man. So it generally made me feel good. So thank you.
No, dude, I genuinely was like affected by that, man. Like really affected by it. Like, and I think, like that's the goal of fucking art. Is
Yeah.
like I said, like the fucking cosmic finger that like touches a nerve.
Yes.
There's
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
there's this thing that artists are trying to get at that's
Yeah.
not it's not reality in the way
Yeah.
that we think about reality. It's this underlying fucking matrix of what makes you feel how you feel, like that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Being able to just touch that for a second through your
Mm.
words.
Yeah.
That's what's important, man.
That's it, man. Yeah. It's a pulse you're trying to find, a new pulse.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Knocking
All
on
right.
a door in their head.
So, I mean, I've still got fucking so much like fucking shit
Yeah,
to go
you're
on, but
right,
like
man.
let's try and let's maybe try and wrap this day.
Yep. I'm happy to come back if you want to continue.
Oh,
Maybe
dude, I
another
would love
night.
to. I would love to, Adam. I could fucking do this for like ever.
Man, I could go down tunnels.
Yeah,
Like getting into my whole rhyming style and like the way I write and shit like
Yeah,
that. Like there's all that there.
let's definitely do that again. Like we'll come
Yeah, man,
back,
for
and I
sure.
would love to talk to you about like the fucking mechanisms and all that kind of stuff. But
Yes.
let's
Yep.
just like try and finish this up because like you're about to
Yep.
have to go. The piece is what
Yep.
this is my note. This is my final note.
Mhm.
The piece. Change. Are you really still the same? So
Yes. Just to
yeah,
answer it bluntly.
yeah.
Nothing's changed, man. Nothing's changed, and that was the scary thing of writing that. So many people
I don't know if
ask
I believe
questions on
you.
that.
I don't know if I believe
Yeah.
you, bro.
I don't think the writing has changed, but the mindset hasn't.
The mindset hasn't, but the mind has.
Mindset,
right?
yes.
The mind has changed.
Yes,
for sure.
but the mindset.
Yeah.
So I still don't think I'm going anywhere.
Yeah.
That's still there, but that's also a drive, man. That's also a big drive. Like negatives seem to motivate me more than positives. And that's going to sound like I'm a pessimist, but I'm not.
No. You can be an optimist, and the thing that's making
Yeah.
you optimistic is defeating the pessimism.
Yeah. So instead of having a glass full of whiskey, I'll just pour it half. You know, I'm good here. Yeah, no. But like, yeah, it's the bad things that make me progress more in writing. Like, how often do you hear a song that's positive?
Yeah,
You know, you don't hear a happy song, do you?
It's all about heartbreak.
Like it's heartbreak, depression, and that's where, like, that was one thing I got sick of in my writing and other people's writing. That's all people talked about. It was depression and love and heartbreaks and all that sort of stuff. I'm like, fuck, like, there was only so many ways I could go with that. And then that's when I got into like battle rap and how they wordplay and like different concepts, and I went into that. But yeah, change, man, very deep piece. So the whole concept was me just running into my future self.
Yeah.
Yep. And we're just having this conversation. Like as a young man poet, writing to the old poet of me in the like 20 years from now or 50 years from now. So I had this idea of like, if I write this, and then I had this vision of reading it again when I was like an old man sitting on the porch or something.
Yeah.
Thinking back, going, did anything change?
I feel like that old man Adam would look back and go, what an idiot.
Yeah. That was another thing. Like that final line in that was something like, will we ever change? And then the other guy comes in and he's like, yes, we'll see, won't we? Like, basically, it's not going to change.
Yeah.
So prove me wrong and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Some things have changed that I mentioned in that. Like in that piece, I was living at home with my dad still. I'm now not.
Yep.
I'm living out of home.
Yeah.
I'm on my own 2 feet. I'm independent. It's all moving forward. The whole wasted talent thing, still a main factor. Nothing's come of it. But I'm not taking as many risks as I probably should because, like I said, I'm not focused on the lights. I'm focused on the right.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, bro.
I'm more focused on just the words.
I fucking feel you, bro. That's beautiful.
Yeah. I don't want to be. Yeah, I don't want that. Like I used to. Like, I want to be rewarded for all this hard work I'm doing. But now, like, that's what everyone wants.
Yeah, that's what everybody wants. But the thing is,
and you have to be a fucking standout, like,
yep,
another level to get that sort of attention. You know what I mean? And I'm doing the same shit everyone else is doing. I try and do different things, but yeah, I don't know, man. Like the only thing I do on Instagram is I actually get up and act the words out. I'm a spoken word, and I try and be the character, and they just sit there and read.
Yeah,
like we are now.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's where a lot of attention come from. They're like, oh, he actually stands up and reads them and acts them out, and I was like, that's not that hard to do. Just get out of your seat. You know what I mean? But like, they were amazed by it for ages, man. I was like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, you got to feel the word. Like, I remember this chick having a conversation with me. She's like, oh,
it's powerful.
I don't think I could do that. She's like, I can't connect with my words the way you do. And I was like, well, how do you write? Like, I had so many questions. Like,
yeah.
I was like, get up and argue about what you're saying. Like, you're debating about what you're feeling, and you argue with yourself. Like, I'm going over here. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, put emphasis behind what you're saying.
All right, so let's wrap this up. I'm not trying to cut you off. I'm aware that your time. I'm aware that your time is fucking precious, and I don't want to fucking.
I appreciate that, man.
Like, make it something that drags on. So
Mrs. just ironed her clothes, and she walked across there doing those looks.
Let's finish, that's right. So let's finish this up. Adam, fucking thank you so much for coming on, and I really, really appreciate you spending this time and having a chat.
I appreciate the platform, man. I appreciate the platform, and you sitting down and actually listening and wanting to dissect my words, which not many people do these days. So it was good, man. I really enjoyed it.
So let's give you fucking whatever avenues you have of like Instagram, anything else you want to fucking mention before we finish it up.
Yeah, man. He is Adamant. That's the Instagram. But like I said, I'm not after the likes, man. I'm just, if you want to hear me, contact Cambo or whatever, buddy.
Awesome.
Doesn't worry me.
Awesome.
So thanks for listening.
Much love, brother. And again, thank you so much. I really appreciate you fucking giving me this time and giving me a little piece of your mind as well. It's awesome.
Yeah, man, for sure. Peace.
Right. Thanks very much.